Before the war began between STL and O Block, teenagers from every neighborhood in Chicago hung out together. Tuka lived on 63rd Street with his mother, while his father resided in O Block. His father had multiple children from various women, Lil Mark being one of his sons. Tuka made a lot of friends in O Block and spent a lot of time there. STL members bullied him constantly since they believed he resided there. Lil Mark and his other brothers will assist Tuka. Up until Tuka met Duck and the others, they started to hang out with him. Tuka started to spend less time in O Block. He made new friends on 63rd, joined STL, and started doing dirt in the streets. Tuka eventually rose to the rank of highly respected STL member. The STL EBT are made up of two gangster disciple sets who merged. They are a primarily street gang that reside on the south side of Chicago, most known to be around 63rd and St. Lawrence and 64th and Eberhart. The two sets formed an alliance when a high-ranking member from STL, also known as C-Ball, began to get close with EBT members. The two sets decided to form together. The set has many different cliques and subsets as well. In 2010, Tuka dissed Lil Mo on social media. Lil Mo was a deceased member from another gang. After hanging out with some pals on January 12, 2011, Tuka made the decision to go for a walk and waited at the bus stop. A car full of rival gang members pulled over while he was waiting for the bus, and one of them asked and the next bus was arriving before starting to shoot. Tuka was struck several times and instantly died. The fact that the STL members named 63rd and St. Lawrence, Tukaville, following Tuka's passing demonstrates how highly regarded Tuka was to the group. The STL were hungry for revenge, believing that Tuka had been killed by someone from O Block. Whether you had family or not, you had to pick a side and stop hanging out at other blocks since they were ready to attack anyone. At this point, the Fly Boy Gang, FBG, was established and the war started. Drill sound legends were developed under the name FBG. At this point, rappers started smoking their ops and drill was formed. It was only the start of a decade in which the conflict would claim the lives of countless Chicago rappers. By the end of 2023, there were very few FBG members remaining. Some had the good sense to leave Chicago, while the others were either murdered or imprisoned. Buckle up, unwind, and enjoy as I go over every FBG member from start to finish in this video. In case you guys didn't know, FBG Young is the younger brother of FBG Cash and was one of the original members of the FBG. He was quite close to Duchy, another boy from the same street. Duchy and Young came up with the name FBG, which stands for Fly Boy Gang. Due to their youth and inability to make mature decisions, Young's father made the decision to oversee and mentor both him and Duchy. First video, Hit A Music, was published by FBG Young, then known as DJ, and Duchy, then known as Mello, on July 11, 2011. Young was shot in the leg by T-Roy in the subsequent year, 2012. It is estimated that Young was shot 4 times on 3 separate occasions. JoJo, a Brick Squad gangster disciple, was a rapper who gained fame in the underground drill scene in the year 2012. Because of a song called El Anthem that dissed JoJo and Brick Squad, he began to beef with Dirk and Reese. It's funny because the three of them grew up together, but there's an issue because they belong to different gangs. JoJo asked Young to help him answer to Dirk and Reese when El Anthem was released, but Young's older brother FBG Cash told Young not to be part of the song. The song BDK was eventually released by JoJo in April of 2012. With over 1 million views on YouTube, the song was a huge success. Lil JoJo was shot and passed away a few weeks following the release of the BDK song. Young expressed gratitude for not being included in the song, knowing that he would also be the target. The Gangster Disciples have just lost their #1 rapper. No one at the time was there to fill up the gap. The Black Disciples had Chief Keef, Reese, and Dirk, who were taking over the Chicago drill scene. Murda, a song by Young and Duchy, was published in July 2013. On April 18, 2018, Young released Do Do Da, which went on to become one of his most popular songs to date with 3 million views on YouTube. His first album, Young Go Dumb, was published in August of 2018. Young is still prolific and keeps releasing new music. He has a few videos out that are doing well. As I mentioned before, Duchy and Young were close friends and came up with the name FBG. Duchy was well known for fighting other kids on the block. Duchy and his friend known as C-Ball started a Gangster Disciples set known as STL. Most STL members were from a GD set called EBT. EBT set was well known for being ruthless. After the success of Chief Keef in the underground drill scene, with a couple of songs going viral, STL members decided to take rap serious. But Billionaire Black was already recording songs, he was not yet famous. Duchy and Young were the main guys in FBG and STL who people respected. People thought Duchy and Young were gonna become superstars. On June 18, 2018, Duchy released one of his best videos, Teed. The song did great with over 2.4 million views on YouTube. In 2018, June 30th, Flyboy Gang released Choppa Party, which has over 2 million views on YouTube. At this point Flyboy Gang was on the rise with full momentum. Duchy recorded a tribute song named Feel For Me in 2021 on August 4th, the first anniversary of FBG Duck's passing. In the drill scene, Duchy still serves as a symbol of the FBG history. FBG Duck was one of his mother's 10 children. After meeting Young and Duchy, he started working with them on music recordings. Duck started off doing petty crimes at an early age that caused him to frequently spend time in jail. He was influenced by his older brother Brick to join the Gangster Disciples. He was a bully growing up, he knew how to fight, most kids on the block were scared of him. He was not really into rap until Billionaire Black taught him how to record songs and rap on different types of beats. Duck released the song Wild Out, a diss to E.D.I. on May 6, 2011. Same year he recorded a music video for Freestyle on August 11, 2011, the day after Tuka's birthday. On the same day, O.D. Perry was put to sleep by STL members. Duck's early songs were not getting any recognition. His breakthrough came in September of 2013 when he released Right Now. The video quickly reached 1 million views, which was the first time his record hit 1 million views. After the song, Duck and other FBG members were starting to get booked for shows, but they were not receiving any money from YouTube because their management was robbing them. Remember that Young's father managed all of the major FBG rappers, overseeing and promoting tracks for the group members. Around 2017, FBG Duck had overtaken all the FBG members. He was the next promising artist to come out of STL to blow up like Keith. Duck released Gang Anthem following Brick's passing, and it became an internet sensation, receiving over 8 million views on YouTube. Duck released Slide in January of the next year, 2018, with over 76 million views to date. The song was an enormous success. 21 Savage even remixed the song to further increase its popularity. Duck's record deal with Sony was secured because to his song Slide. After the deal, Duck was living lavish and became the #1 op in Chicago. His ops saw him as a threat with his connection to different gang sets, and now having the money, that totally put a bull's eye on his back. On the 19th of December, 2019, Duck released Chicago Legends, where he paid homage to all the fallen Chicago icons from various gang sets, including his ops. Around this time, one of Duck's biggest op, King Von, was also becoming a superstar with the help of his friend Lil Durk. Him and Memo 600 released Exposing Me, where King Von and Memo 600 dissed all STL Fallen members. FBG Duck will respond with Exposing Me Remix, where he featured Ruga. He dissed all Fallen members from the other side. As soon as we thought things would get better, they turned worse. The biggest superstars from STL and O Block were now facing off against each other on wax. On July 10, 2020, Duck released the most disrespectful song of all time called Deadbeat. This song brought embarrassment to O Block. Less than a month later, after the song was released on August 4, 2020, FBG Duck was shot more than 13 times at the Gold Coast in Chicago while he was doing shopping with his girlfriend.
On social media that the 26-year-old man pronounced dead is a well-known Chicago rapper. A crowd grew outside Northwestern Hospital where he was taken, but still no official confirmation on his identity. A 36-year-old man and 26-year-old woman were also shot and are in serious condition.
I came to pick up a food here at the Le Colonial. Picked up the food, I was about to go, started my car, and next thing I hear poo 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 poo. I'm like, what's happening?
This was a very sad loss to STL as their biggest artist FBG Duck was no more. Duck at this point was on a process on signing with Rap-A-Lot Records. The year 2024 Duck's killers were found guilty of the incident. If you want deep information on the suspects, you can search for this video on this channel. Billionaire Black is a gangster disciple from Welch World. He is one of the first people to start rapping in Chicago because of the influence of his uncle who was a rapper. Before he was part of a rap group called Brick Boys back in 2007.
What motivates y'all to be rapping? Well, I'm saying, what motivates me to keep rapping, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Welch World, you know. Right. But all the fans, you know what I'm saying, all the fans, they keep me motivated and shit. Ski. Shout out, you know what it is, man. We get Young Murder on the scene, man. We out here, man. Yeah, that black video shoot, man. We out here wilding out.
Billionaire Black taught and paved a way for STL members to become rappers, as he knew more about the music. He released his first video in 2010 called I Swear, months after he released another video called Trust Me. Before Tuka's death, Billionaire Black was a black disciple before switching to gangster disciple. His brother Richie Jerk became gangster disciple as well following his brother's footsteps. In December 2012, Billionaire Black and King Lil Jay released a music video called So Arrogant. The song reached 1 million views. Billionaire Black did not blow up like Duck, but he is still consistent. He moved to Arizona. In April 2017, he began working with New York artists such as Cardi B and Paparazzi Pa. In June 28, 2022, Billionaire Black released a music video called O Blockchain which has over 1 million views on YouTube. He is still consistently releasing songs. Butta was very close with Tuka and K.I. Butta was very ruthless in the streets. Following O.D. Perry's death, Keef, Reese, and Santana went and shot up 63rd. Butta managed to survive the incident despite being shot. On April 11th of 2014, Butta lost his day one friend and sister, K.I. to the streets of Chicago. She was shot multiple of times in front of Butta's home. Butta was also shot, but his injuries were not that serious. King Von was identified as the shooter. King Von at this point became STL biggest op. Eventually Von will get locked up for some time. I think prison saved his life at this point because STL EBT members were ready to slide. Butta also had a long rivalry with the late King Von which dates back to 2009 when Butta and the rest of STL EBT jumped Von on the school bus after finding out King Von was playing both sides. In 2014, Butta became close with Lil Jay. They became really close. As I mentioned, Butta and Lil Jay were arrested for conspiracy to commit murder. Butta was given 8 years because he cooperated for a lesser sentence. He ended up doing 4 years. In 2019, Butta was released from jail and most of his affiliates did not want him around because of his snitching allegations. After Duck's demise, Butta was upset and he decided to take a stand at the FBG Duck trial. Butta has been putting out music during the years. Now he is going harder than before. He has released a couple of songs over the years. One video he released that I like is called 6-3 Bars, released March 5, 2023. The song has over 500,000 views on YouTube. Another video is called New Glock, released on March 3, 2023. The song has over 200,000 views on YouTube. On the song he attacks his former comrade Lil Jay, calling him names. Butta continues to drop dope songs. Before interest in rap, King Lil Jay was a DJ at local parties. He grew up a black disciple because he grew around black disciples. At the age of 15, Lil Jay was homeless and began robbing people. he moved to 63rd and met Buddha and K.I. Lil Jay began staying with Duck, him and Brick became very close, they hung out together frequently, they shared everything from a blunt to a bed. At this point Lil Jay got into rapping as he saw Young, Duchy, and Duck were recording songs. In 2012, after releasing the song called Critical, Lil Jay was not happy with the management, which was Young's father. He left the group and began his own called WTO, We The Op. But he never stopped claiming FBG as he continued to collaborate with the FBG members. Under his own management Lil Jay released the video, How You Ain't Know, this gave him recognition in Chicago. His fan base extremely grew. In 2013, Lil Jay was shot 9 times, luckily he survived and was released from hospital the following day. Billionaire Black stated that the doctor told them that the only thing that kept Lil Jay alive after getting shot so many times was the ecstasy he had taken earlier that day. Lil Jay would allegedly retaliate by shooting at 600 and TYMB members. 2014, Lil Jay was the top artist of FBG to be recognized, as he kept on releasing songs and videos, his fan base kept on growing. At this point Lil Jay had stopped hanging out with the FBG members because he was accused of stealing from them. Lil Jay was arrested for rape in December 2013 but was released a day later because the DNA did not match. He was also arrested for recklessly discharging a firearm into the air for New Year's Eve in January 2015 but bonded out of the Cook County Jail 10 days later. In 2015 he fell out with King Yella because Lil Jay got caught sleeping with King Yella's girlfriend at the time Queen D. Not too long after that he got locked up in May 2015 after him and FBG Buddha got into it with a guy from Mitch Block in a drug deal gone wrong, and they also lost their friend in that incident. FBG Buddha ended up snitching on him and he did 7 years in jail from May 2015 to April 2022. During his incarceration he bumped into several ops such as D Rose from 600, Bezu from THF 46, Boss Top from O Block, C Murda from O Block, and Rondo No. 9 from 600. Lil Jay and Rondo squashed their differences in the bullpen in 2015. In May 2016 Lil Jay and another inmate pressed and beat up FBG Buddha for refusing to sign an affidavit that would make Buddha take back his snitching statement. Lil Jay beat up C Murda from O Block in jail in 2019. Lil Jay was in and out of protective custody and was also accused of participating in gay activities during his incarceration, but he's always strongly denied those claims. In 2018 him and famous Dex fell out as well because Dex refused to help him get bonded out. He came out of jail in April 2022 and was dropping music consistently, but unfortunately he got locked up for a gun 3 months later in July 2022 and he's been incarcerated ever since. Cash, as I said earlier, was Young's older brother. Cash was in the streets by the age of 15. There are circulating rumors that he once dated Chief Keef's mother, while he used to hang out at Parkway Gardens before the war. Cash was always getting into trouble. He was robbing and shooting until he got a 6-year sentence in 2009, he only served 2 years and 6 months in prison. He was placed on house arrest. He joined the FBG group. In 2012 he started releasing songs and videos. 2013, Cash released his first mixtape called No More Free Cash. At this time he had signed to an independent label. The mixtape did not do good as people thought it will. 2018 Cash was sent back to prison for threatening a police officer. Cash served some time and was released in the summer of 2020. At this time him and Duck were not seeing eye to eye. Cash was not included on Duck's final videos. Cash continued dropping songs, going to certain interviews to promote his image and music. On October 2021, Cash lost one of his best friends known as Fat Shotty, who was gunned down at Halloween party in Chicago. Cash was also present that night. Later that year on December 2021, Cash released a tribute song called Letter to Duck and Fats. The song did very well as now it has over 500,000 views. On February 2022, Cash took a picture in front of King Von's mural and dissed King Von and O Block. He began releasing songs attacking O Block. By this time Cash had moved out of the hood. Cash then signed with Rap-A-Lot Midwest Records. Now him, Young, and Duchy were back representing STL and FBG. On June 10, 2022, FBG Cash was gunned down and a woman was wounded while they sat in a car on the south side early Friday morning. A man and woman were inside their vehicle in the 1600 block of West 81st Street at 5:32 a.m. Central Daylight Time when a black four-door sedan, possibly a Cadillac, approached and an unknown offender got out and opened fire. Police said a 31-year-old man was struck by multiple gunshots before he was taken to Christ Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The second victim, a 29-year-old woman, was hit in the left arm and upper back and was taken to the hospital in serious condition. She eventually recovered, and now she is healthier than ever. FBG Brick, the older brother of Duck, was the firstborn out of 10 kids. Brick began running the streets at the age of 11. As a teenager he was part of gangster disciples known as the Beam Team. Around this time the Beam Team was beefing with black disciple set known as Welch World. Brick was a very respectable member. He was selling narcotics and robbing people just to help his mother out. On June 24, 2012, after the murder of Taekwon, Brick and other STL members went looking for Taekwon's killers, but while they were searching they came across the police. The police searched them and they found a gun on Brick which will cost him 4 years in prison. Brick was finally released from prison in 2016. He began taking his music career serious. Around this time Brick became close with Can't Get Right, a member who belonged to Taekwon World. In 2017 Brick went even harder on the mic because he saw the success of his younger brother Duck. He dropped a lot of music around that time. On April 3, 2017, Brick released his last video called Another One. The video has over 1 million views to date. On July 19, 2017, Brick was gunned down along with his friend, known as Kobe Mack, in the South Side Woodlawn neighborhood. Police were called to a shooting about 2:50 p.m. on a Monday in the 6300 block of South St. Lawrence. They found one of the victims in front of a home with a gunshot wound to the head, and the other man in the back gangway with gunshot wounds to the back and arm, according to Chicago police. Mack, 31, and Brick, 26, were pronounced dead at the scene, according to the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office. Mack lived in the West Side Austin neighborhood, while Brick lived in South Shore. As the FBG movement evolved, additional gangster disciples from different sets wanted to join in, too. Because they watched what Duck, Cash, and Lil Jay were doing with the drill rap culture. In this video, I just discussed the core FBG members who initiated the movement. Now I'll show you the additional members who joined after the movement was formed. Here is the list for those who are curious. After Duck's demise, STL EBT members were feuding. Members from the same set began backdooring one another, and the FBG, Flyboy Gang, is no longer as powerful as it once was. STL had lost the majority of its allies. Duck and Brick held them together while they were alive. They had connections to other gang sets such as 051 Young Money, Taekwon World, Jero City, and many more. That was the primary reason Duck posed a threat to O Block. He was growing too powerful. King Von, on the other hand, had respect only at O Block. He was not well respected in the streets like Duck, even if he had more bodies than Duck. Duck knew shooters from all over Chicago. Those shooters respected Duck. Duck will always be remembered as the general of STL EBT and FBG, Flyboy Gang. Long live all the fallen members from both sides. I am afraid this comes to the end of this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos.